Hey everybody, welcome to another Sunday Night Live with the Picker Boys. Well, tonight we got about 8 different topics we're going to talk about. And as you all know, this is a weekly show. And with me tonight, I should say as usual, but when he's not feeling so well, is Mr. Northeast Picker. So where have you been and what's going on there, Northeast?
Hey everyone, I'm glad to be back. Sorry, I have missed the last couple weeks. What's been going on is I had a little bit of a cancer scare with my liver. Come to find out, people, don't drink energy drinks. It's bad for you. It does damage to your liver. So, yep. So now the only thing I can drink is the wonderful Sprite. So that'll be it. But that's what's been going on with me.
Oh, don't you pick up a couple of things that you wanted to talk about too?
Oh yeah. Along with being sick, I was still able to get out and do some picking, which I've got. I don't know if any of you seen this on the Reseller Society. I put a post up about what I picked up, and I got these. This is Meguiar's medium cut polish. I got like 8 of them. No, 8 of these, and then 2 of the finishing polish. I picked that all up for $8. These are all new in package. That's one of my that'll work out pretty good. Nice profit on them. So yep, that's it.
Very cool. And I want to do a quick announcement for who our guest is going to be on Wednesday. This coming Wednesday night is Nadine Sherstone, Danae, in the J&A Thrifting Show. That's on Thursday nights. So she said any topic is going to be open for her to talk about. So come get to know her and see what's going on. And with that, we do have 8 topics that we're going to talk about tonight. You want to start with yours, Chris?
Sure. All right. The first one I wanted to cover was it was posted in the group. Somebody was wondering when most eBay sellers ship out their items after payment is received. That goes along with your shipping and handling time on eBay. If you have it set for a day, you should try to get it out within the first 24 hours of the business day, not considering a Sunday. So, but if you have a 2-day handling time, then you can get away with the 48 hours. But me, I know for a fact that I always try to do within 24-hour ship out. So what about you, Chris?
I haven't. Well, on various ones, we started at 2-day because we weren't sure with Housewise and everything else if we were going to be able to actually get things out in one day. But I noticed that every time we got to say it, we didn't really wait. We still tried getting it out the next day anyway. So I figured we might as well at least force ourselves to do it. And if things happen with her, then I'll start switching it back. Or if I have to, I'll learn how to pack and do my best there by myself. But it's what I was afraid I was going to have to do when she was in the hospital for those 3 days after her surgery. But we didn't have any sales those 3 days. So, but yeah, I'd advise the sooner you can get your items out, the better. You get good feedback. People saying quick shipping, and then it reflects good on you. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I do strive for. I strive to have quick shipping. So, I try to get mine out within 24 hours as long as it's not a weekend, because I can't mail post office stuff Sundays. So,
and most places you can't, unless you get sale after a certain time on Saturday, you can't get it out either. So you have until Monday anyway for a Saturday sale.
Yeah, my post office here closes at 12. on Saturdays.
I think mine closes at 1 and it opens at 10. So that's how tight of a window you have if you have to drop something off.
Yeah.
Okay. And after I do my topic, we'll do a couple of shout outs. But I see we got about 14, 15 viewers so far. As we've talked about before with stores closing, well, apparently Staples is going to be closing 50 stores with or without the Office Max purchase that they're trying to do. Or not Office Max, Office Depot. So they're in the process of trying to buy them out. What was that?
I just said that's the same thing. Office Max, Office Depot is the same thing, as we discovered. They're operated and owned by the same company.
Yeah, Office Depot actually bought out Office Max, so, and now Staples is going to be trying to buy them out, but they don't know if that's going to go through. And they said either way, they're going to be closing down 50 stores soon. So I don't know what stores, we didn't find out what stores exactly are closing, but to the fact that there's another bunch of stores that are going to be closing that you might want to look into for possible resale availability of items if you're into retail arbitrage.
Yeah. Hold on, Chris. I want to ask the group in here something. Are you guys, is Chris a walking picker? Is he breaking up to you guys, or is it just me? Okay. I don't know.
It may take him a while to respond.
Yeah.
There's a 30 second to 22 minute, 2 second or 2 minute delay depending on their computer system. Brian says just you. Treasure Box says fine. So it's all saying you.
Okay. Go figure. And I'm even on super fast internet here. I don't know.
So you have anything to say about the stores closing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody said anything about no. Oh, Steven said something about their height stores. Whatever that is with. Oh, now. Brian, I don't use Net Zero. I supposedly have Comcast business class. See how good that gets me.
All right. Well, so what about you? Had an example you wanted to talk about your stores that are close by you again? Those Trader, what is it?
Oh yeah, we have a line of stores up here called Trader Horn, and they're closing. Their last date of operation is going to be, I think, June 1st. So now everything's going on. Each couple weeks they mark everything down. It started at 10% off, and by June it'll be up to 9% off. So, and that's like I said, that's just those are Trader Horns, which are located here in Western Pennsylvania. They're not located anywhere else. So yeah. Geez, Brian, trade in the Web TV. Holy cow. Web TV was way back in the day.
Well, so with Brian, he likes to go back in the day, didn't you know? He likes to time travel.
Ah, that's cool. Wonder if he takes his squirrels with him when he travels. So
most likely. Oh.
But yeah, I mean,
said they had high prices.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Office Max.
That Dustin just showed up. So you want to do a quick shout out of who else is in the chat?
Yeah, we'll do a quick shout out. I see you'd already said Dustin, Brian, DA Albatross is in there. Lisa, nice to see Mitten State picker Lisa. Good to have her in here. I think I've seen Flipping Easy, and big shout out to Mr. Sadie. I know he was in here earlier. Hopefully he's still around. Big shout out to the squirrels. Anybody else, Chris?
Oh, One Wolf was here. She said breaking up and then now froze. I don't about when you were asking about my hearing me. Treasure Box Shop Nelly. And I think, Nelly, if you're the one I think you are, I might have picked your your post for our show. I don't know. I don't usually go by names, but your name kind of looks familiar to me. And let's see. John Flynn's in the chat. Half-ass picker. Or as you call him, AJ picker. And I think that's it.
I see Lori Hoover and Spiky came in. Now, Brian, all the Jeff Gordon stuff behind me, really? Come on. He's retired now.
Neil wants to know any word on when Sports Authority will be start to close out prices. I don't know. I haven't heard.
I was watching the news the other day, and they really didn't say when they were going to start closeout prices or anything. So we'll see.
Well, we'll go to my.
That would be.
Go ahead.
I want to touch on that. That would probably be a good retail arbitrage thing. Sporting goods, the sporting good store going out. Yeah, that would probably be pretty good. I don't do Amazon, so I don't worry about that stuff. But anybody that does, that would probably be some good money there.
Yeah, especially with the spring and summer coming. More often than not, they'll probably have that season out instead of the winter stuff. Getting the winter stuff would be nice for next winter. And so with that, my next topic. I'm not sure Nelly, if this is your post, let me know so I don't not give you credit. But there was a post about the post office workers, and we were talking about this before. They finally, at the counters, I'm assuming, finally got their notifications about the changes to the scanning and the consumer base for the selling, for the commercial pricing, so they don't get the $15.99 for the first class that we were all complaining about for the first month that they didn't do it right. Well, the post was that they actually have gotten, at least in one post office, they finally got the email saying these are the changes to the cut that came. So, what do you think about that, Chris?
Well, and like we talked about it before, yeah, that was Nellie's post, by the way. We talked about it before. It takes time, I guess, to get, I guess the way things work in that type of government business, it's not always quick. So, but at least it looks like it's gonna, they've got the memos now, and everything should be scanned. The first class package is gonna be scanned and stuff like that. I have never had an issue when I take my boxes to the post office and they scan them. They're always super nice to me. They ask me if I need anything while I'm there. So, I have never had an issue with any of my postal people here. I guess it's because I treat them right. I give them, Christmas cards and whatnot. So, and you're right, Brian, government work, hurry up and wait, I guess, in some aspects.
Yep. So Nelly says she actually works there. Hey, Nelly, maybe let's talk to you about coming on in our show, talking about what the postal worker has to go through with us eBay and Amazon sellers. All the headaches that you guys go through. So
No, Brian, I don't. No, Brian, I don't show leg. Who wants to see these white, hairy Pennsylvania legs? They're white because I live in Pennsylvania where it's cold as heck, and I don't see no sun. So yeah,
no.
but yeah, maybe we could have Nelly on a Wednesday, and we could talk about post office stuff. I think that would be good, and I think it would help out a lot of the newer resellers.
Yes,
Thrift Daddies, welcome.
And I see we're at 28 viewers so far. So, and let's see. Lisa says that would be a good show. She would stay up for it. And Nelly says sure she can. So
Awesome.
hey Nelly, not this Wednesday, as you already know we have a guest. What about the 16th? Let's get you on the. Let's confirm this on air.
There we go. Nothing like putting someone on the spot on live YouTube here.
Hey, I've done it before.
Yep.
No, if she can't do it on that day, any Wednesday night will work. I'm just saying, if you, as most of my loyal viewers from years when I first started would know, I used to have the show playing almost a month to 2 months in advance. So, and I would like to get to that point.
She said the 16th is fine. So
confirmed.
Awesome.
Well,
that's awesome. It's good to have you. I'm glad we're gonna have that. That's gonna be great. Yeah, there we go. Brian said name it Going Postal. No, Brian, because it'll get pulled real quick. So, all right. Next thing I wanted to talk about today, I had seen a post, somebody asking about business cards and stuff like that. As a reseller, I do have business cards, but there's a time and a place that I use them. I'll use them locally. I don't advertise myself out on the interweb with my cards, my business cards. I do it to, I'll give them to people at estate sales, put them at laundromats and stuff like that. So, I don't know if you do business cards, Chris, but, that's my thing with my business cards.
When I was in New York, we tried doing the business cards thing through the Vistaprint. But since we moved here, all those cards were null and void. And plus, the email address have changed and stuff like that. So it kind of, because we didn't want people calling, we were trying to do it through having them email us. So that way we can decide, okay, we don't want it, that. We'll just tell them no thanks. Instead of worrying about getting 10 calls a day, we'd rather get the email. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Chris. And that was what the post was about, where the person could get business cards. And I order mine through Vistaprint. Think they have a deal going on right now for 500 of them for, I think it's 9 something. I'm not sure, but it's not real expensive. So, yeah.
And I know who posted that post you're talking about, and I don't think they would mind us mentioning them. It was actually Yard Sale Hunter.
Yeah, it was.
Little Kyle. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, if I was really putting the shit in it and I had the room, I would probably try getting more business cards, but I'd have to make sure that everything was right, and I wouldn't want to screw up like I did the last time. I'll say all of a sudden we're moving, and I have to redo it again. And I'm not paying $10, $20 every time we end up moving. So.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question for you, Chris. It has to do with the post, but I'm going to see you, since you are a collector, I'm going to ask you this. How do you handle keeping an item that you're supposed to be picking up for resale when you also like to collect it?
Here's the thing. My wife has told me from day one in this business, if I want to collect something, and I'm going to buy it to collect, I need to pick up 2 other things to sell. So that's my thing. Yes, I collect NASCAR stuff, not necessarily Jeff Gordon. Those are just back air because I thought they looked pretty good. But you know, I was taught when I first got into this, my wife said, if you're going to pick something up to collect for your collection, you need to pick up 2 other things to sell. So that's my input on that.
Yeah, I made a comment on that post asking him, so how many other items did you pick up at the same time that would cover whatever the price was for that item? Plus, how often are you just reselling it as a cover to buy an item just so you can keep it? Because there's some people that may turn out to be hoarders because they say, "Oh, I'm gonna resell this," and then all of a sudden, "Oh, I like this. I'm gonna keep this," and they keep doing it with everything that they have. Then they complain they don't get sales.
And here's the thing: if you just pick stuff to collect and not sell, you're not going to be, your reselling ain't going to be too good. I want to go back one thing about the business cards. Yeah, Cherry Vintage said about, that's where she gets hers. She gets hers at the Vista Print too. And she uses 2, actually. That's pretty cool. She said she uses 1 for potential customers and 2 without her business name on it for people who sell me their stuff. I use 1, and I have it that, I buy people's stuff. So, yeah.
And I see what Steven's saying about having Brian on. Yeah, but when Brian's on, he doesn't want to talk about squirrels. He wants to talk about Linux. And if you know Brian, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Lisa says she collects yarn.
I guess that's pretty cheap to collect, I guess, Lisa. Yarn. It's not like my NASCAR collections and stuff like that, But
well, depending on what yarn that spools of yarn that goes for good money on eBay. From what I've heard from other groups that I joined. Okay, what's your third or your fourth final topic? I don't even remember what number we're on. I just did my third, and we're already.
Yeah. My last topic here for now is the things that we can do to keep our customers coming back and to get positive feedback. The little extra things that we can do as resellers on the platform, on eBay or whatever have it, even if it's local. I know for my eBay, I try, I put in a little, letter stating thank you for your business. And I also went and got these decals, these bottom off the eBay. They're little stickers that say, we strive for your 5-star, 100% positive rating for us. If you have any issues, please don't hesitate to contact us. So, I mean, it's just the little things that you can do. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to come back and buy off you again if you don't have what they want. It just means that you're showing them that you do care a little bit, I mean, it's so I don't know if anybody else does that, Chris. I don't know if you put little thank you or for your business in with your packages. And so, yeah.
We have a couple of cards that once in a while we try. Like, I think we got to get more. But once in a while we'll also write on our packing slip because we don't want we always put it in a packing slip. So sometimes we'll write a thank you for buying from us. Please check out our sign up for our newsletter. That way, if we put anything new up, they automatically get the newsletter about it. So I still haven't gotten any followers from my store, but go ahead.
Well, that's, that was pretty much it. I mean, I try, I've always been taught that even in life, you know, treat people the way you want to be treated. So if I was buying something from somebody, I would like to know that they cared, you know. So that's why I do it, and I'll continue doing it. Not everybody agrees with it, but you know, that's just me. I want to keep the customer happy.
Well,
I did have another topic I forgot. Sorry, Chris. So go ahead
okay.
and talk about this one.
Well, I got another thing that I just remember because you we were talking about what topics we wanted to cover before the show, and if you remember right, the wife brought up about her, or you might not have been there at the time. She was talking about her history, and with Finger Hut and a different furniture company that they actually sent in other like little gifts besides what was sold to the customer. Well, one of the stores that she went to actually said if you pay $50 cash X amount a month, we'll deliver it to you for the furniture and at free. So she ended up doing that, and her daughter got a $1,000 bedding setup for like $200 to $300. So every time they needed a new furniture or something like that, they went back to that store first because they treated the customer with a discount if you paid cash monthly. So it was kind of like layaway, but up to an X amount. And they actually gave them free delivery. How many places actually give free delivery? Even Rent-A-Center, you got to pay something.
Yeah. And Cherry Vintage said about that, you know, tell them thank you. It was a pleasure doing business with you. Then without they insert a call to action, please stop by my store again. No, Treasure, I mean Cherry, sorry. I was thinking of Angie, sorry. Cherry Vintage. I don't ask for them to stop by my store again. All my little cards say is thank you for your business. We strive to reach your 5-star 100% satisfaction. If by any chance there is, I don't have it in front of me, but if there's an issue, please contact us and we'll be sure to take care of it.
And
so that's what I do.
Sherry also said on what I was just talking about, I've been on eBay so long, I remember when they encouraged us to include a little candy. Ha ha ha. I didn't even know about that.
I think I was back in what, Terry? I think it was the early 90s or something. I don't know. Late 90s. I don't know. So, yeah. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, Chris, was I seen it online.
Actually, there was one more
comment.
Go ahead,
sorry.
That I want to jumping right away because I noticed my wife actually commented in the video on it. She said, one key point, if you're going to add free bonus items along with an order, is to keep anything in the same category, genre, or keep everything in the same. So.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. I know that I sold to another reseller for her daughter for some makeup, and I had some other makeup here too. And I just I put it in with it. It was around Christmas time, and I just put it in with it so that there was that little extra surprise.
Yeah, it was like that Christmas present.
Yeah.
And Terry also said, "Oh, I always insert a call to action, business 101."
Okay, yeah, and that's everybody. That's awesome. That's awesome, Cherry. I'm glad to see that there are people out there that do get the repeat customers. And knowing you, Cherry, I know that you sell. If I'm not mistaken, you do sell a lot of clothes and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I think she does too. And
yeah,
with repeat customers, if they find they like how she does things, they're gonna keep coming back. As just like I said with the furniture with the wife earlier, she went back to that furniture store every time they needed something first before they went to any of the big names.
Yes, and I was just getting ready to say something like that with Roxy. Roxy said it's hard to sell smalls, especially very smalls. It makes sense to include them in as a bonus. It keeps your customers coming back. Yes, it does. If I have something that, is laying around here and I'm not going to sell it, I'm not going to, unless I bundle it up with something and wait for more stuff to bundle it up with. I'm just going to be throwing it in the package and sending it to that customer. Give them a nice little surprise. No, it's not my way of begging for feedback or anything because, no, I don't, I've learned that, people are going to leave you feedback if they want to leave you feedback. Someone also told me that actually no feedback is good feedback too. So, I'm not going to complain.
I think I just did one time.
Yeah. Exactly.
I say that I've said that to a lot of people. I wonder if somebody else repeated it or said it to you before I did.
No, it was you. It was told to me by you. So yeah. Yep. And it doesn't kill you to put those smalls in there. I mean, it's not like it's adding a lot of extra weight to your packages. It's not like, it's taking away from your profit too much. If you pay a lot of money for smalls, then there's something wrong.
And Vintage says that, yeah, she does vintage and collectibles.
Okay.
And Roxy also said that if you've been keeping track of your peeps on a list, don't forget them at Christmas. Send a card with a ribbon or a bookmark, etc. You never know, they might come back.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, Anything you can do to get that customer to come back. It's like going to a store. I'll go back to what you were saying, Chris. It's like going to a store, a big box store for an item, okay? And you walk in and they say, "Oh, you're buying this." Say you're buying a 55-inch LCD TV with a DVD player. And they say, okay, you're buying this. We're going to throw in this DVD for you, and it just makes perfect business sense.
Yep, but how many big box stores do that? Not many. It's always the smaller stores that do that. It's the smaller stores.
And yeah.
And that's why when they get customers, loyal customers like we do loyal viewers, we try giving them what they want and giving them enough of a gift so that way they want to come back.
Yeah. And Steven said something about you get an a-hole saying, I never ordered this if you put it in as a gift. I have never, ever had a customer do that. So if that's happened to you, I'm sorry, but I have never had a customer do that. So.
And Carrie Vinci says the majority of feedback anywhere on the internet comes from customers who really liked or really disliked the product service. Most customers with a so-so experience don't take the time to leave feedback or a review.
Very true. Because it's something here's the thing. If you send the customer something and they're expecting that something, okay, and it's just what they want, a lot of times you're not getting a feedback on that. Now you send the customer something and, say I send the customer one of these, they ordered one of the Maguires, okay? And I say, you know what? I'm going to throw two in. That is going to get me, it should get me good feedback. Not always, but that customer's going to remember. And at least maybe he'll come back.
And he knows at least until you run out, if he needs any more, he knows he may get two for the price of one.
Yes. And you're right, Cherry. Negative feedback no longer affects us on eBay. So, I mean, it doesn't affect us. So, yeah, and hopefully, I haven't really seen how that is going to work, so we'll see.
Yeah, because you never know. It may not affect us with defects, but other the buyers might say, well, wait, there's 1,000 feet negatives to the 10,000 positives. What are those negatives? There may be a certain product, or let's make it the way they cover themselves, that the buyer said, I'm not taking my chance with that product, with that seller. So I'll go to someone else, even if it's a higher price, because they have 100% feedback.
Yeah, exactly. And Cherry said positive feedback doesn't affect our stats either. No, it doesn't affect our stats, but like Chris was saying, customers, it may affect our customers, saying, like he had said, do I want to buy it from this person that has, a bunch of bad feedbacks, or do I want to buy the product from this person that has good feedback? So I think it does affect us still, even though it's not a defect.
And Owen Wolf says a gift is a really great idea. I love when I get a little gift. And Lisa said that she had to go. Hubby is saying family time. Get listing. I guess he's my boss, shaking my head.
Okay. Yep.
I was going to say something, but she's gone already probably by now. So, and I don't know if she'll come back to watch, so I'm not going to say it just because.
Yeah. The next thing I want to talk about, Chris, if we can, is
go ahead.
Is there any other? There's a question. Hold on. Question from Brian. This is gonna be good. Where do you get your shipping boxes? Scrounge them or buy them? I have, Brian. I've been lucky because my wife had just moved in with me. We got married and she just moved in with me. So I have lots of boxes. So I don't have to buy boxes for a while. And I also get the flat rate boxes. I have a lot of those. Now I do, like, if I have something really big, I will go up to Walmart and pick up one of those Duck brand boxes.
Well, what I do, I have a whole bunch of the flat rate and priority mail boxes as well. But since we live so close to the stores, sometimes we'll go looking in their garbage to see how good of a box they're actually throwing out. Like for Red Centers right behind me, they're throwing out their freezer boxes, the refrigerator boxes, their TV boxes. So depending on what I have to ship out, like I have an art that we gotta get listed somehow, and I know Vaughn Flipping Easy was in the house, so I gotta talk to her about my art because it's a local artist that I have three art prints parts of. So I'm gonna see if maybe she knows where I can get rid of them for a fair price, or maybe sell them to her and she can sell them to somebody else. I need to get them out of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian, it would have been kind of weird if she didn't move in with me, but but I'm condemned to the basement now. This is where my office is. This is where all my eBay business is. So now I'm condemned to here.
And I see Cherry Vintage and Roxy are going back and forth still about getting the positive feedbacks. And yep, Vaughn's still in the chat, so she said okay. So okay, question from Crafty Caregiver before we get to your topic, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
They want to know, when someone doesn't pay their eBay purchase, how long do you wait before you cancel their purchase? First of all, you don't cancel it. What you do is you open an unpaid item case. Then they have, I think, 4 or 5 days to actually pay for it. Otherwise, they get a thing on their side of the board, and then you can relist it. But I have my unpaid item automatically set to kick in 48 hours after an auction ends, or I accept the best offer. Otherwise, I do fixed price, immediate payment required. So that way, I don't risk them not buying or paying for it. What about you, Chris?
That's the same thing with me. I have it set to where it's 48 hours. If they don't pay, then the case gets open, and it goes from there for eBay. And I wait the how many ever days, and then I, relist. So, but no, never cancel. So, yeah.
O1 Wolf just gave a suggestion, so here I'm gonna give so a nugget out. U-Haul does a free box exchange. Leave what you can, take what you need. So check that out in your area of the country. I don't know if it's nationwide or if it's in her little area. So it's nothing not worth you can't check it out.
Yeah. And Brian at DA Albatross said, try cell phone stores for little boxes. I have never thought of that. But yeah, that's interesting. I never thought about getting little boxes from the cell phone stores.
Well, you figure if you you figure if you find a cell phone case at a yard sale, you can actually and if you happen to have the same box that goes with that case, anyway, you can actually bump the price up a little bit. You can say used with case and with the box.
No, I think he's talking about small shipping boxes, because when they get phones in, they don't come in these big huge boxes. So they ship them in the smaller boxes, probably a dozen at a time. So
Well, he says that him and Eric Castle, who was on my show almost a year ago, said they scored on those little boxes at a cell phone store dumpster. So, and Cherry's giving Crafty a tip of look at the item, step in your sold column. It'll tell you various actions. One is open non-pair buyer case. It will tell you if it's too soon. So, and Crafty says,
thank you, Cherry.
What was that?
Go ahead.
I was saying that he was just thanking her because it was the first time it's happened to win over 200 sales.
And I want to make a comment. It's good to see, whenever we're doing these shows that other people are in the chat actually helping out other people. I love seeing that. So keep up the good work, all you awesome resellers.
Let's see. I don't see any more questions. So let's finally get to your next topic. Yeah, as finally,
all right.
Edison, not really.
Yeah. I had seen a post earlier today about returns and do we have to accept returns? Here's the thing, people. On eBay, more than likely, especially with the new system, the 14-day and 30-day returns, a customer is always going to find a way to return an item. I don't know what the percentage of eBay finding in favor of the seller is to the buyer, because I've never looked at those statistics. But if a customer wants to return an item badly enough, they're going to get it returned. So if you're asking that, do we have to accept a return? If eBay tells you that they're going to that they're going to side with the buyer, and he wants to return it, okay, it's either that person returns it, and gets their money, or, they don't return it and eBay still, issues a return, issues a refund on it. So, and then you also have your, exactly, Wolf, accept returns with a smile. Okay. We all know it's part of business. We know that in this business, especially online, reselling and stuff, you're going to have returns. And as Cherry said, to be a power seller as of February 20th, 2016, you need to have a 30-day return policy. So take that in consideration. And Flipping said they damage it on purpose. I've heard of a lot. I've heard of people, getting back things that have been like clocks that have been open and missing pieces. So all I can say about returns is make sure you take pictures of your item and that you have online. Make sure you take the pictures of the serial number on it. If you open it up, like I know there's some people that sell vintage electronics, like Chad. If he opens it up and he cleans it, you know, he takes the pictures of the inside to show that everything is there. So, you know, if protect yourself,
And
you know, no one out there is going to protect your ass as much as you're going to protect your ass, because it's your money.
now, Cherry, I thought the thing was 30-day return for top rated seller plus, not top rated seller itself. Because they said I'm very close to it. If I was to have all the sales I was going to have, I'd like to have, I would have been a power seller in February without having a 30-day return. So I don't know.
And
Go ahead.
I'm glad Roxy said what she said, because that was what I was trying to get at. Roxy had said, well, if you don't accept returns, you won't get the product back. That has nothing to do with whether eBay gives them their money back or not. And personally, she'd take the return. She'd take the item she'd rather get it back than, so she knows that they really didn't want it and that you can sell it again. So, yeah.
And Brian said I refund with a satellite photo of their home included.
No, that's just okay, Brian. Just because you constantly have black SUVs parked outside your house doesn't mean I want them. Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. Wolf said she had returns purposely damaged to get a return. When she was begging them to return it, they wanted a discount.
Yeah, they probably didn't damage it until they had to return it. So
Because Wolf, I don't want to say that's a scammer move per se, but that's not. They should not have to. Because once you show them that it's damaged, eBay would check. Especially if you have good pictures, and then you show return pictures of it being damaged, and they didn't return it because of it being damaged. Because usually, that's why I always on my listings, if I show something, I say pictures may be asked for insurance purposes. Because knowing I'm going to be going through the post office, if I'm getting $50 or $100 back from the post office because of damage that was caused while they're shipping, then it may deter some of them from wanting to do a return. But I haven't had any returns, so I can't say either way.
Yeah, and Susanna said he still has to give refunds most of the time, even doing that. Yeah, but the thing is, Susanna, what I'm saying is, okay, you get this product back, okay, and it's different than what they've sent. And you have the pictures to prove it. That's a little bit more weight in your favor, okay? If you have to, you know, say you sold a gramophone, okay, and it comes back, and you open it up, you inspect it, and it's missing pieces from the inside, and you know that you have they were there before you sent it, okay? That, you know, that teeters on the legal aspect of fraud. You know, I don't know, you know, at least here in Pennsylvania it does. You know, so that's what I was getting at.
Sherry Vinci's kind of basically matched me up by saying, I never give a partial refund. eBay guidelines state item must be in same condition. I've had eBay back me on this every time so far. So
exactly, the eBay policy, and I just read it today after we were talking about this, Chris. The eBay policy states that the item must be returned in the same condition. And on this post, I know on the group, somebody said that the person that she talked to from eBay, you know, said that they were still having to give the refund and stuff like that. What I'm going to tell that person to do is, you need to call back and talk to another rep, because as Chris so politely told me today in a hangout, not all the eBay reps know all the policies.
Well, midnight's going off again, so we're better with the cat call.
Yep.
Owen will say they claimed the damage and wanted a discount. The pics showed no damage. I just wanted it back. So.
And then he goes on to say, because I knew they were scamming me, so the broke it and finally sent it back and then left me good feedback.
I would try pushing that with eBay a bit more. If you have pictures showing that it wasn't damaged, that the pictures were not damaged when they said it was. And yeah, she said they refunded all money and all shipping. So, well, now you're already refunded. I don't know if eBay will be able to back you. I think Cherry will be able to help you better on that than we could. So, maybe you two can get together on Facebook and.
Yeah, I know that Cherry won't come on our shows, but hey, she's one of our. Yeah, I've seen other people ask her to come on their shows. Cherry doesn't, for some reason, it seems like Cherry doesn't like the camera. I don't know. But she's Cherry Vintage is great at helping people in the chat. I am so glad that we have her here tonight. Thank you so much.
And, well, she just said, yes, I made a video about how to deal with eBay scammers. You have to show the eBay rep where that policy is on their website in the guidelines.
Yep. So go over, I was just going to tell Wolf to go over and watch that video after the show, Wolf. Not go now. Okay. Stay here for now.
And
I don't know.
Classic Caregiver wants to know, do we use restocking fees? I haven't started using any yet. So, what about you, Chris?
I don't use restocking fees. It's just I don't like it, because I look at it like, okay, returns are part of business. I have to deal with that. And I don't sell a lot of electronics and stuff. Vintage electronics or anything. So I don't really worry too much about restocking fees.
And Brian wants to know where Coco is. I don't know. Another person that's not in the chat right now is Joe Panico. So I heard he was not feeling so well last week. So there's an excuse. Heck, if the co-host can miss a show, viewers can miss too.
Yeah. Yep. I want to say though, thank you guys for, there was a lot of people that reached out to me and made sure, I was doing okay and asking me how I was doing and stuff like that. I want to thank the fans for that. It just means that we're this big dysfunctional family, and yeah, we're still there for each other though. So, yep.
And Carrie answered why she doesn't get on shows is because she's too lazy to learn Google Hangouts. Mostly, because even Roxy asked why she wouldn't come on the shows.
Yep.
I see, Cherry. Cherry, you'll have a lot of viewers on a live show. You can almost guarantee it. All your
Cherry,
knowledge.
it's not. Yeah, Cherry, it's not very hard it's not very hard to get on a live show in Google Hangouts. But if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Owen Will says that she thinks someone trying to charge her a restocking fee would stop her from buying from them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Sherry.
Go ahead.
Sherry Johnson said, "Great show." Thank you, Sherry. That means a lot.
Yeah, she was she was here last week, and I think she might have even been here Wednesday night during the show. And Cherry said crafty on some things like prom dresses because they have high rate of return, which I can understand on that. If you're doing like a prom dress, a wedding dress, which is a one-time wear type of thing, and then you what to do, like they do with regular stores, rent and return. Because if you at a regular store, if you hide this, depending on where they put the price tag, you can't really prove where you got it. Type of
Yeah.
thing.
I want to say something that Brian just posted. If Northeast Picker can get on Google Hangouts with his ColecoVision, it should be a snap for you. Brian, I don't have a ColecoVision. If I had one, I'd probably sell it because it's worth money.
Terry says, "Okay, someday, guys, you will see me on a hangout, and it will blow your mind."
Good. I'm glad. I want to see you in a show, Cherry.
Another.
You got.
Oh, go ahead.
You got a lot of knowledge, Cherry. You've been doing this long, and it's people like you that we do need on shows. So yeah.
Now, like I say, another person that everybody should know that getting dogged about not being on shows is Willie the Seller. So don't feel bad, Cherry. At least you come to watch the shows. Willie doesn't even come to watch.
Somebody had said earlier, even before the show started, about having DA Albatross on our show. The problem with having DA Albatross, Brian, on our show is the U.S. government would shut us down real quick.
Plus, Brian's been on a couple of my shows.
Yeah.
Already, so. And I don't think squirrels is going to be a good enough topic to make money with.
I don't know.
Unless you want to learn how to do their fur coats.
Yep.
Terry, even that Sharon says she'd love to see Terry do a show on vintage jewelry live.
All right. Yeah. Hold on. I have to correct something. I'm sorry. Not DA. It's duh. Okay. Duh. Albatross, whatever. Okay, Brian. I got it right now.
And my last topic so far for tonight is that negative symbols on eBay for sale. Because there was a post of a plate from 1930s that was more of a good plate, like bless you type of plate, but it had the swastika on it, and a buyer reported that seller, and eBay took it down. And this person was in the Canada, so I don't know all of Canada's rules about what they can and cannot list on eBay Canada. Well, it's similar to just like here, we can't put the rebel flag in anywhere now, so you have to be careful what you're listing. And even though they said there was over 5,000 listings with the swastika in it on their site, I said, but yours is the one that the buyer found, because they may not have been looking for that. They may be looking for a plate. And your plate just happened to have that on it, so it offended them, and they reported you. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, we'll go back to what do I say all the time, Chris? I won't sell anything immoral or illegal. So I don't think I'd sell anything with swastikas on it. I don't know. To me, that's just, I don't know. I mean, it's each their own. So that's just the way I feel about it. But I mean, you got to look at the things that eBay doesn't allow you to sell. There is, just go on eBay and, go into the, what is that? The customer, whatever screen or whatever. Yeah. Can tell I'm not looking at it, but there is a list of what you can't sell on eBay.
And I may have to. I know that link's been posted in a couple of groups already, but as an admin, I might have to post it up again just to help the new people that come in that are learning how to sell on eBay. Because there's a lot of people that are brand new in the groups.
Yeah. So Brian, I can't sell my bad liver on eBay.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Turning woman, aka Dawn, is in the house finally.
I was just gonna say, wow, Dawn's here. That's awesome.
She might have thought we were starting late, an hour later, like you thought we were tonight.
Yeah, I was almost late for my own show, people. Really? That's disgusting, Brian. Ugh.
Yes, correct. It is part of history, like the Berlin Wall, but just like originally the swastika was not a negative thing. When people are turn it into a negative and it offends people, they're not going to think about what good it was before. Just like the word gay. Yeah, yeah, look at it the opposite way with the word gay. When back in the 80s, early 90s, gay was not a good word, and all of a sudden, or actually it was because you were happy, and then it turned into the sexual turn. So, and then there's all the things that people say, well, no, you're gay, and there's negative there. So words can be just as bad as the symbols.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. It is there, Brian. The category is still there. Strange and unusual, and it's like they also have subcategories. Weird, really weird. So yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, it's probably more in the adult categories.
Yeah, it's under the thing of everything else, and yeah. So, but that's disgusting. Selling toenails on. Good lord, if I need money that bad to sell toenails on eBay, there's something wrong.
Well, imagine if it's a famous person's toenails. That stalker just needs those toenails, you know.
No, thank you.
Okay, Cherry Venture says, once I found upper dentures in a blazer pocket. My friend once found little dog poop in a blazer pocket, chest pocket.
Why
Oh,
would somebody keep? Why would somebody keep dog poop in a blazer pocket? Ah,
Crafty said, if they take certain things down, it means they need to take all books about Hitler off the sales or down. That's books are different apparently. It's well, yeah, but the way saying this it's part of history, but so is basically everything else that they're trying to take off. And I see California Pickers. It's an interesting show tonight. Thanks for watching.
yeah, yeah.
I was going to remind everybody, since we're at the hour mark, that Wednesday night, Nay from Drifting with Jay and Nay is going to be our guest on the Yar Show. So get your questions ready for it while we're getting ours ready this week. Anything else on your mind there, Chris?
Nah, not really. I think we had a great show tonight. It was good that we had a lot of interaction with people in the room. And we can always count on Brian to keep it pretty lively. Thank you for that, Brian. you know, um, and yeah. So, also anybody that's on Facebook, part of the, part of the group thing. If you guys want a topic, um, if you guys want a topic covered, let us know, so that we know to cover it. Because that's what we do on Sundays. We cover topics.
And I see Nellie says she'll be ready. Remember, it's in 2 weeks for you, Nellie. You know how to get a hold of me on Facebook besides the group. You can message me on Facebook and we'll talk more about the details on the timing and everything. So, I know. Well, now, Sharon, you're going to have a reason to watch the replay. Unless you have a question you want us to cover, we're still live, so I'm not ending it yet.
But we are, hold for it, people. We are going to have a after show, aren't we, Chris?
Yep. As long as we got somebody that wants to come in. And I know at least for a little while, DA might come in. Dawn may come in. Dustin may come in. But I see the thumbs up, so if you like what we talked about, please hit that like. If you're watching this for the first time, this is a weekly show, so subscribe and you'll hopefully learn a lot. And we'll that like that the red Dustin. Okay, wait, let's see. Cherry says, Wave It will tell if you look at the postway area for your listing or go to the USPS site, it will tell you. Okay, I think there was a question we missed. We'll have to go back up and look.
That's what I'm doing.
I popped it out, so I didn't even. Okay, well, here's the question. Do you guys have an idea of how much it will cost to ship stuff into UK through USPS in a padded envelope? And Cherry says she answered above.
Okay.
Well, it depends on the weight, first of all, and if you want to go through GSP on eBay, it won't cost you as much because you'll be sending it to Kentucky. So I don't do international shipping. Yeah. I do the GSP.
I use the global shipping program. In fact, this past weekend, the end of last week, I had a item go to Canada, and it went through global shipping. So, and that's what I use. I won't send anything international unless it's global, because for the simple fact with global shipping, it's my responsibility until it gets to global shipping. If something happens after that, this is what they tell me anyways. If something happens after it gets to global shipping and before the customer, it goes back to the global shipping program. Holy cow, Coco's here. You're a little late.
And Coco's, just so you know, when you rewind, your name will be mentioned a few times. And Terry said, I answer all questions because I'm an oracle and a magic 8-ball.
A magic 8-ball.
And Owen Wolf, you don't have a camera to come in. There are a couple of people that turn off their camera and they just type in the chat that's on the side. So if you want to come in, we're not going to hound you to get on camera. Just ask Coco. There's only a few that will bust on her, but that's only because they love her so much.
Did we pay? Wait, Dawn? Really? Did they pay you, Brian? I hope you ain't saying did we pay him. I hope not.
I think he said I use global shipping just me, so maybe he's talking about the GSP pay him.
Okay. Oh, I think it was the cigarette butt that he sold. I can't believe he used a used cigarette butt. But hey, whatever works.
You're welcome, Wolf.
So, yeah.
At least on our shows, we don't ask for the cameras to be on. As long as we're respectful to everybody and we can at least answer the questions in the chat, we don't care who comes in. But once 10 people come in, you'll have to either wait or wait till next time and hope you get in quicker.
Yep. Yeah, because, we do have squirrels in there too, so. I don't know where do you see a Pepsi can? You see Dawn. It's a Sprite can. That's all I'm allowed to drink now. You missed the beginning of the show where I told everybody what happened to me. So that is a Sprite can.
And Coco says, and Chris, I'm just now eating supper. So she's late for supper again.
Okay. Yep. All right, guys.
There's any more last-minute questions? Well, since we had the one question from Wave, I was going to see if there's any more last-minute questions. Since we do have that 30-second lag or a minute lag before we end it, kind of want to end it right when somebody's asking a question. So,
yep. Just one more time to remind everybody, hey, if you liked it, give us a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to Chris's channel. Show the brother some love. Thanks, guys.
And okay, Chris, well, I'm waiting to see if there's any more questions. Now I got another one for you. When's your next video and your first video coming up?
What?
Well, I'm talking about your first real video. Your shout out video. Nobody signed up subscribing to you. We need to get you subscriptions.
I ain't doing no shout out videos anymore because heck, the people that I shout out, there's some that I shouted out on video that don't even subscribe to me. So I'll be doing hopefully this week I'm gonna do another haul video. Might do some other videos, kind of surprise videos, but you'll have to pay attention, watch for it, people.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing any more questions. So, yeah. See, Brian, you do videos. See, they didn't even know you had 2 videos up. All right, everybody. I'm going to end the broadcast. Thanks for watching. See you Wednesday night when Nadine's on, and hopefully we'll have a good show that night, like we usually do. Nelly answered because the postal worker knows what the prices could be. Says Wave Priority International padded envelope, about $35 to UK. So hopefully that helped you out, Wave, if you're still here. If not, hopefully you rewatch this and you get an answer. So thanks again, everybody. I will send the link into the chat after I hand it and into the Reseller Society group. Good night.